Good morning, early birds. How are you? This is Dr. Annette Feravich. I don't have something to drink here, which I clearly need. Today is day 196. We are here on day 196 of the classroom. And I am so proud to be here, to be your teacher in the classroom. And yeah, that's it. I think that's it. We're going to get to business today. I've been working very hard to make sure that I can teach you fractions in a way that you can really understand. So that's what we're doing here today. We are on day number 2 of fractions. And what I had hoped for, how'd that happen? Hold on. She needs her glasses. Is she going to put on her blue ones? Oh, I'm going to put on the dirty ones. These are so... What happened to these? Come on. Export. That should do it. Probably didn't put the right titles up there. So, if you remember, we started yesterday talking a lot about a lot of things, but mainly about fractions. And even though, how's that? Much better. I'm playing around here. I am actually ready to get started. So let's get started. It is day 197 in the classroom. We are here on May 22nd, and it is another cloudy, sad, rainy day. But you know what? That's okay. Because April showers brings May flowers. Hey, we've got our hosta out there, don't we? Not flowers yet for me, but I'm thinking about it very seriously. Where I'm going to put some flowers here in my apartment. Not on the lake anymore. What'd you do to me? And why? Sitting over here being followed by these people who don't even live here in this apartment, coming and going in their cars. And the first thing in the morning, coming in that vehicle over there when they dropped all those people off in that vehicle first. No comprendo. What's going on here? I don't know, early birds, but you know what? What do? We just keep plowing away with doing what we do best. Every single day, what are we trying to do? Besides our motto that we had there, what are we trying to do? Bring human dignity to everybody. And we start with ourselves. So every day we try and get out of bed and do what we know we do best, right? And if what you do best is playing video games, you need a paradigm shift. Look it up. All right, let's get going with our fractions. As I said, I've got things so ready for you. There it is. Look at, there's the PowerPoint right there. Bink. You know why it's all set up? The crew? Let's keep going. All right. Oh, there we go. All right, so today, on Tuesday, we finished up with health and energy. Yesterday, we started with fractions and early birds, and today we're continuing on day 2 with our fractions. We went to WikiHow in order to find out how to read a ruler, didn't we? We learned that a standard ruler is measured on one side in inches and on the other side in centimeters. Seriously? I put those away. I only have that ruler here right now. 12 inches equals 1 foot. How many whole numbers? Whole numbers are what? Whole numbers are counting numbers. So how many whole numbers do we have on a ruler? We have 12. They're the longest line on the ruler, aren't they? We're going through these fast because if you want something a little bit slower, not here in the early birds. We're moving along. No, if you want something a little slower, watch tomorrow or yesterday's episode. Watch yesterday's episode. We are splitting the whole into halves for a half mark, and then into halves again for a quarter mark, and then into halves again for the eighth mark, right? Depending on how many people you want to eat that pie, you are going to divide your whole pie into, depending, here we have 8 people. 8 equal parts. We might divide it into 16 equal parts, right? We might divide it into 10 equal parts. We've seen that, right? Here's 10. The last one there, we show how a pie is divided into 10 equal parts, right? So that's what we're doing. When we take a whole and we divide it up, it now is a fraction of the whole. It's a fraction of the whole. How's that written? Well, if we write it, it looks like that, like a numerator slash denominator. We learned what those were yesterday as well. If we're writing it, we use a numerator. In this case, the numerator is 1 slash the denominator. The denominator is how many pieces the pie is divided into. In this case, the pie. So there we have a numerator and a denominator. That's how we write it when we are writing in math equations. We put one on top of the other with a dividing line in between, right? The numerator is on top of the denominator, and we see that we have a dividing line in between, right? Okay. Keep it going then. We've got this. Now we talked about math fractions and trying to show each one of these fractions, right? So we did. First of all, we got with the denominator and we looked at how many pieces the whole was divided into. That gave us our denominator, right? The first one divided into 6 pieces. The denominator is on the bottom. The second one divided into 5 pieces. The denominator is on the bottom 5. The third one divided into 4 pieces. The denominator is on the bottom 4. And the last one there divided into 7 pieces. The denominator is on the bottom 7. And then we try and match the fraction to what the numerator is telling us. How many pieces out of 6 do we need? 4 pieces out of 6 is what we took. How many pieces out of 5 did we take? 4 out of 5 pieces. That's 4/5. That's how we say the fractions. 4/6 is the first one. 4/5 is the second one. 2/4 is the third one. And we've got 2 pieces out of 4. And then the last one, 3/7, and we've got 3 pieces out of 7 on the last one. I think we did this yesterday as well. So we showed that the first one is showing 2 pieces without counting. We know that the denominator is the total. So now what we're doing is we're taking our pieces out of the whole. The second one, 1 out of 3. I don't know, did we do this one? The third one, we've got 1 out of 2 is what we're showing. And the last one we're showing, the total number in the denominator is 7. We are showing 5 pieces out of 7. No, we did not do this one, and we just whipped right through that one because fractions are not that difficult. What we're doing is we are showing the fraction that is listed there. In the first one, it is 2/5. So we've got the total number, 5 blocks there, 5 squares, right? 5 blocks. And we are coloring 2/5. I'm going to give you 2/5 of the blocks. How many of those blocks am I going to give you? 2. I'm going to give you 1/3 of the blocks. How many blocks do I have? I'm going to give you 1/3. How many blocks do I have? 3 blocks. I'm going to give you 1/3. That's how many you get. If I have 2 blocks, that's the whole. It is the number of the whole number of blocks I have. I'm going to give you half of those blocks. I'm going to give you 1/2 of what I have. That's one of those, 1 out of 2. That's a lot more. I'm going to give you 1, I only have 2. If I give you 1 out of 3, I still have 2 left, don't I? What about 5 out of 7? That's pretty generous of me to give you 5 out of 7 because how many do I have left then? That's right. Only 2 of them left. Okay, I just sped right through that one. Now what we want to do here is we want to write the fraction. And so they grade those boxes out, right? But I colored them in. Of course I colored them in. Who likes that ugly gray? I used it, I'm pretty sure, so that teachers had a black and white. But nobody wanted the ugly color gray. We will start with the denominator by counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we put in our denominator, 6. And then, I think I did all the denominators first. I'm not sure. Or did I color first? How many blocks do we need? Okay, yeah, we're putting all the denominators in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Denominator is 5. We're putting the next denominator in. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's that denominator? 4. And the next denominator. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they're using the same denominators over and over and over again. We can have different denominators. I think that they like the idea that they had those boxes so nice and neat over there. That's what I think. That's what I would like. So the numerator tells us how many parts from the whole that we're taking. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's our numerator, 4/6. The next one. How many parts out of 5 are we taking? 1, 2, 3 parts out of 5. There's our numerator, 3/5. The next one, we are taking 1 part out of 4. There's our numerator, 1. And the next one, we're taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts out of 7. There's our numerator, 5/7. So we are learning to write these fractions. All right, now we're going to go to, let's see if I've got the preview up there. I do not. Okay. So here I want to show you that I got these fractions from the ones that we were just doing, I'm pretty sure. Nope. I need to make these a little smaller so I can see what's going on here. Here we go. So this was from Teachers Pay Teachers. And here is our worksheet from Teachers Pay Teachers that we just went through. So I just want to give credit. All of the credit is on the last slide that you just saw there. So all of the Teachers Pay Teachers worksheets that I used, all of the resources are cited right there. They're also listed below. And here is the one that we just got through, which was Fraction Fun for Beginners. So there's the worksheets that I used. They allowed me to mark them up, and clearly then I was able to fill in the blanks. But there is a little bit of the edited worksheet. And again, I have got, they don't have their name on this worksheet, but I've got that worksheet listed on the sites below. If you want to get that worksheet, I always get free ones, and so they're always free for you. You don't have to buy them. You just go to Teachers Pay Teachers, and you could look for, I looked for fractions, and you'll find that wonderful worksheet. Okay, let's go to our next worksheet, and I'm going to go ahead and give you... This worksheet is also from Teachers Pay Teachers, and this worksheet is called Equivalent Fractions. Equivalent Fractions. Ugh. I'm trying to get up here. There we go. The worksheet for equivalent fractions that we're going to go to next. So I can show you that. There we go. And here's the worksheet that we're going to go to next. And here you can see there's a link right here where you can get this worksheet. And so that's what fractions in action, about equivalent fractions. And that's where we are going to next. So all I'm doing is giving credit where credit is due, and for where I got these worksheets. And now we're going to go to that next. All right. And there we are, equivalent fractions. So this is our first worksheet. Now, one of the things that what we want to make sure that we know that we're working with is same size pieces. In all of the work that we were doing that I showed you, all of those pieces of the pie were divided up into same size pieces, just like these pies here. The two pieces all the way to the left, those are right here, right there, those two pieces, those are the same size pieces. One's not bigger than the other. The next one, it's divided into 4 pieces. Those pieces are equal pieces, right? The next one is divided up into rectangles and then squares, but each one of those are equal size pieces. So we need to remember that the key to these fractions and identifying the fractions is that the denominator are all equal sizes. Those denominators are all equal sizes, okay? And that's what we mean by equivalent fractions. The pieces that we cut our pie into or our cake into are all equal pieces. So they weren't cut by a human being. We're just saying that, right? Laser cut to get them equal, or cut by a machine, or by a computer, right? But not by a human being. We can't get those equal pieces from a human being, unfortunately. Let's go back now and follow the directions here. It says fractions are equivalent when they name the same part of a whole, the same size. They're equivalent when they're the same size. Equivalent fractions are different names for the same amount, all right? So we're talking about the same amount now. Now we're looking for the same amount in our fractions, okay? Follow the directions, then write equivalent or not equivalent on the line. All right, so we could, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna say equal to or not equal to. All right, I don't have a not equal to. I do, I'll get it. So we're gonna follow the directions. The directions say color 2/6 of the apples red. Well, we see we do have 6 apples, so that one's easy. We just need to color 2 out of the 6. 1, 2. Excelente, excelente. Okay, but the next one is different. The next one says color. I just want to make sure you can see everything there. You can, because I'm looking at coloring is what I'm doing. The next one says color 1/3 green. 1/3 of the apple's green. Well, I see 6 apples there, but there are 2 sets of 3. So let's go, and out of every 3, we color 1. Let's do that. So 1, 2, 3. I need to see if you see that. Do you see that on there? Do you see my arrow on there? No, you do not. Okay. All right. So coloring out, we are coloring 1 out of every 3 green. So 1, 2, 3, we're coloring 1 of those green, but we have another set of green. So what we have to do is color out of 1, 2, 3, another one that is green. So is 2/6 the same as 1/3? When we color those in, is 2/6 the same as 1/3? And it looks like it, doesn't it? It looks like, yeah, those are the same. We colored the same amount in. Now we're looking at equivalent fractions. So 2/6 is, are we going to put it in black? Or are we going to put it in, I want to put it in green, but not that green. There we go. I know, this I really should have had set up, but oh my goodness gracious, why aren't you giving me a shorter one? You are. So there is our equal to. Who knew? See, that's the reason why I do have to set these things up in advance, because even putting a stupid equal to there, and actually we're going to fill that in black. There we go. So 2, 6, that's why I did those slides earlier, and then I went and did animation on them, and they were cool. But now I have to color these in, and because I have to color them in, I have to do them in a different program. Are you happy that I explained that to you? Is that satisfying to you? So let's go ahead and do the next one. The next one says color 1/2 of the flowers pink. 1 out of every 2. 1 out of every 2 we're coloring pink. Do you understand? So how many do we have to color? Well, here's 1, 2 are the first ones. We're going to color the top. So 1, 2, we color 1. And then we see another set of 2. So we color 1 out of 2. Here's, let me get the circle so I show you. So here, the next one, we have 1 out of 2. There's our 2. We are coloring 1 out of 2. The next one, we have 2 more. We are coloring 1 out of 2. Oh, very interesting. Let's look at the next one here. Now we're coloring 2 out of 4. 2 out of 4. Well, here we have 4. We have to color 2 of the 4. Do we want to color them the same way, or do we want to color them differently? There's 4, so we're coloring 2 out of the 4. Now we have another 4 right here. We have to use a different set of 4, not these 2 over here, because we already used them in our 2 out of 4. Now we have another set of 4, so we color another 2 out of 4. Are those the same? I didn't color them the same, but as far as a number goes, is the number the same? How many do we have colored? 4 out of 8 for each one of those. 4 out of 8 for the first one, and 4 out of 8 for the second one. So is 2/4 and 1/2 are what? So the first one says 2/6 is equal to 1/3. 2/4 and 1/2 are what? They also are equal, aren't they? So let's go. They are equal. We can write the word there. We can put the equal sign there. Let's go ahead and put the word equal there instead. They are equal. We like our chalkboard, and we want that just a little bit smaller so it fits in there. And we want this not changed to this. Why are you changing that when I have a small letter there? I don't like that. There's the word equal. So 2/4 and 1/2, they're equal. In each case there, I have 4 flowers. For each case there, I have 4 flowers out of 8 equal flowers. So they're the same. Those are the same. Excellent job. I can't even believe it. Let's go to this one. This is the second half of those equivalent fractions worksheet that I was showing you, right? So it says color 1/3 of the leaves yellow. 1/3 of the leaves yellow. Okay, no problemo as long as I can get my yellow paintbrush there. There we go. So 1 out of every 3. So there we have we're going to go ahead and count 3 leaves and then color 1 out of 3 leaves. All right, so here are our 3 leaves. 1, 2, 3 leaves. We're going to color one of them yellow. All right, I got it. There we go, 1. Now we find, but we still have more leaves, so we have to color 1 out of every 3 leaves. Let's go ahead and color one of those leaves yellow. We have more leaves. We have a lot more than 3 leaves, don't we? So we have to go to our next group of 3 leaves and color 1 out of 3. What they're asking us to do is color 1/3 of these leaves yellow. Am I saying green? Yellow. We are coloring 1/3 of all of those leaves yellow. Well, we have, how many leaves do we have? We've got 1. I can't do this. It'll take too long. So count them. 1. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll put a check mark in there. Although I won't be able to find a check mark. I'll just put an L there. That'll be our check mark. Okay, so we've got... Why are you all of a sudden doing that? Stop correcting something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 12 leaves there. So what they're telling us to do is color 1 out of every 3 leaves, right? 1 out of every 3 leaves is what you're supposed to be coloring. So, I know my eyeballs are wrong over here. No, they're right. So let's go ahead and color now the next set of 3 leaves. We are coloring 1 out of those 3 leaves. All right, so we're all done. We've gotten every set of 3 leaves. We've got 1/3 of those 12 leaves colored. Do you understand how this is working? I think that you do. The next one is 1 out of every 4 leaves we are supposed to be coloring. 1 out of every 4 leaves. So let's find 4 leaves. Here we still have 12 leaves, but now we're coloring 1 out of every 4. Is 1 out of every 3 the same as 1 out of every 4? I don't think so, but let's find out. So now we're coloring 1 out of every 4 red. There's 4, we color that red. We've got 4 more here. We're coloring 1 out of 4. And then we've got 4 more here. So we're coloring 1 out of every 4. So in the first one, we have 4 leaves colored. In the second one, we have 3 leaves colored. So 1/4 and 1/3 are what? Are they equal or not equal? They would be. That's easy, isn't it? It gets to be easy. Uh-oh. Edit, undo, new graphic. Over here. Copy. So these here are not equal. They are 1/4 and 1/3 are not equal. I have 4 leaves and that are colored yellow, but I only have 3 leaves that are colored red. They are not equal. Color 1/3 of the caps blue. All right, so again, we go and we take our oval and we say, all right, there's 3. I have to color 1 out of those 3 blue. Oops. All right, and then there's 1 out of 3. Then I have to color 1 out of 3 here, blue again, just 1. And then the next one, I have to remember to color just one out of the next three. So now when we've got 9 caps and we are coloring 1/3 of 9 caps, that's 3. If we're coloring 1/3 of 3 caps, that's 1. If we're coloring 1/3 of 6 caps, that's 2. If we're coloring 1/3 of 9 caps, that's 3. Do you see how that goes? It depends on how many is the total. If the total is only 3, 1/3 would be 1. But if the total is 9, if you have 9 pieces and you're giving me 1/3 of 9 pieces, you've got to give me 3 of those. All right? Let's see if 3/9 is the same as 1/3. So we've got 9 caps here and we're coloring 3/9 of those caps. So we're looking at all the caps. And out of all the caps, we're coloring 3 of them. Can you already tell what the answer is? Are they the same? That's what we're looking for. Is 1/3 gonna be the same as 3/9? And yes, it is. Of course you already know that. Of course you do. We colored the same amount in 1/3 in number 4 as we did in 3/9. So 1/3 is, I think I'll just go ahead and do that, equal to 3/9. They're the same thing. See all of the things that you're learning in fractions? So 1/3 is equal to 3/9. Let's look over here at the next one now. Equivalent is another word for equal to or the same. Fractions that are equivalent are equal. So when they're equivalent, they're equal, just like we were talking about in these. 1/3 is equal to 3/9. They're just repeating themselves a little bit. They are different names for the same size parts of a whole or a group. So 1/3 and 3/9 are different names for one part of the whole group. All right? It's the same size. 1/3 will be the same size of a pie as 3/9 if the pies are the same size. Fractions that do not name the same size or part are not equivalent. Shade the first part, the first shape to show the fraction. Then shade the second shape so that it is equivalent. Finish the math sentence by writing the fraction for the second shape. So you can see here we've got the first shape is 1/2, but it's not colored in. So that's what we're gonna do, is we're gonna fill in the first shape to show 1/2. We've done that before, easy peasy, right? But now we need to show the equivalent in the next one. And the equivalent would be this, wouldn't it? That looks like the same amount is in 1/2, but that has more numbers in the it's broken up into more parts, and so we have a larger denominator, don't we? We have a larger denominator. Oh shoot, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, and I can't undo that. So that would be 2/4. That's how I have to type it. I can't type it unless it changes all by itself into a number that looks like that. Actually, I think I will do that though. Yeah, no, I'm not. All right, so we are making sure that these fractions are equal. So 1 over 2 is the same thing or equal to 2 over 4. I am going to now take a minute and write that the way that it should be. 2 over 4 with a dividing line. Okay, so we're going to move this over here. And then we're going to copy that. Let's look at the next one. We need to color in 1/3. 1/3 of those pieces of pie need to be colored in. So the very first one is broken up into 3 pieces. We're coloring one of those pieces in. We need to color the equivalent so it looks the same. Well, that looks the same. How many pieces now did we color in? Well, we've got now the numerator and the denominator. And this, in this case, our denominator is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. And we had to color 2 out of the 6 pieces. So 1/3 is the same as 2/6. So we can reduce our 2/6 down to 1/3. We could say we could have 6 pieces, but we could only divide it into 3 pieces and take 1. And it's the same thing. Here now, what we have is we've got 2/3. 2/3. So let's color in 2 out of the 3. Get this tolerance right down there. And that. Delete that. 1, 2 out of 3. Now we have to have the same size, the same equivalent. Well, it looks to me like that's about the same size, and it actually is the same size. So how many do we have colored in there? Well, oh my goodness gracious. There we go. Okay. So what's our denominator? Our denominator is 6. We have 6 pieces there, don't we? And how many pieces did we color in? You can see that this is not nearly as friendly as the PowerPoint was. 4 of those squares we have colored in. Let's go ahead and do one more, and then we're going to take our 4 days off, and you can practice doing the rest of them. 1/4. We have that divided into 4 pieces. So now we're going to color in 1/4. All right, so we have 1/4. Now we have 8 pieces here. We have 8 pieces here. We want to color in the same amount, so that is 2 out of the 8 pieces. And now we need to write that as a fraction. We have the 2. What we need to do now is just change the denominator into an 8. And that's how many pieces we have to make 1/4 equivalent to 2/8. Let's take a look at the next few. And you can try and work on those in your spare time on our 4 days off. Make 3/4 equivalent to, how many pieces do we have there? 8. So a denominator of 8. We've got 1/3. We need a denominator of 6. Color the same amount of parts with a denominator of 6. In number 7, we've got 4 out of 4. The whole thing is colored. So now we have 8 pieces. How many pieces are going to be colored to cover all of those 4 pieces, to make sure it is equivalent to 4 out of 4. Number 8, 1/2. We have to make 1/2 equivalent to how many pieces colored out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And number 9, we have to color 1/5 of those pieces. How many will we have to color when we have 10 pieces? And now you might begin to see a pattern here. Do you see a pattern here? Look for a pattern. 1/2, we're going to color for number 10, 1/2 of those. How many will we color when we have 8, a denominator of 8? Okay, let's take a look at our next worksheet and see if you can't do this. Fractions are equivalent when they name the same part of the whole. Equivalent fractions are different names for the same amount. Follow the directions, then write equal to or not equal to. So was 1/2 equal to 3/6? Color 1/2 of the circle blue. 1 out of every 2. If these are 2, I only color 1. If these are 2, I only color 1. And then if these are 2, I only color 1. So I've got 3 out of the 6 colored. So is that the same as 1/2? It says color 3 of the 6 red. Now I've got them in different places. Are they still the same? Are they equal to one another? Is 1/2 the same amount of pieces of pie as 3/6? And of course it is. So we're going to grab this and come over here and put it here. And if we want a not equal to sign, what we're going to do is just put a slash like that. All right, so there's our not equal to sign. Let's make that a little bit thicker. Right? when we need our not equal to sign, we've got one there. And then here's our equal to sign. Okay? 1/2 is equal to 3/6. That's all we have for today. We went a little bit long, but we usually do when we are trying to wrap things up, especially when we are finishing up our 3 days on to go to our 4 days off. I hope that gives you something to look at and something to work on for our 4 days off. Let me see if the next sheet you could do. Yeah, we'll talk about the next sheets coming up. You probably can do the next sheet if you want to take a look at, oh, I didn't show you all of this one. Let's take a look at all of this one so you could do this full sheet. There's the references there also from Teachers Pay Teachers there at the bottom. So you can take a look at that. And if you want to be ambitious, you can go ahead and work on the next worksheet from the same group of equivalent fractions, number 5, page 5. And there are your directions. And see if you might not be able to duplicate this, or you can go online to Teachers Pay Teachers and download these equivalent fraction worksheets for free. This is Dr. Annette Feravich. Thanks for joining me here on day 197 in the classroom. I am so happy that we are learning something excitingly new. And guess what I have ready for you? What I have ready for you is our next topic. We're going to talk more about the different types of energy. I was really kind of intrigued about that. I wanted to know when I looked up on AI, and I broke AI. I said, what is the energy being used when we're thinking? And you know what? It didn't have an answer. I loved stumping AI. This is Dr. Annette Feravich. That's what we're doing. We're learning so much that we can stump AI. I think that was kind of an easy question. I don't know why AI was stumped. I mean, at the very least, you could have said chemical energy. At the very least. Neuronal energy would have been interesting if you would have said that. That's what I expected you to say, but you didn't say that. You didn't say anything. This is Dr. Annette Feravich. Thanks for joining me here in the classroom where we are, don't forget, we are making your mind, your body, and your spirit healthier every time we're here. Thanks for joining me.